Blencowe Resources has announced a £1.9 million placing to talk us through the assets that the company has and how the funds raised will be deployed. I'm delighted to be joined by the Chief Executive, Mike Ralston. So, Mike, very briefly, before we talk about the funds, if you can give us a brief introduction to Blencowe and the Orom-Cross graphite project for those who don't know about it.
Sure, Sarah, and thank you very much. It's nice to be back here. Orom-Cross is a world-class graphite deposit located in northern Uganda, which is in East Africa. We have owned this project for about 4 to 5 years. In that time, we've done some extensive drilling programs. We've done a scoping study. We've done a pre-feasibility study and an awful lot of metallurgical test work. So we're pretty well advanced. We're currently in the Definitive Feasibility Study stage, and that's due for completion certainly within the next 6 to 12 months. So we are making progress. There's a lot of intricate work within that DFS that needs to be completed, such as pre-qualification of the end products to get offtake agreements, but we're very comfortable. We're doing what we need to do to showcase this as an exceptional asset. So it's certainly going to plan at the moment.
So, Mike, to what extent has today's funds raised accelerated the completion of the Definitive Feasibility Study?
I think that all money that we receive is obviously very welcome. The DFS is a complex array of work that's going on in various different countries and locations. The main task that we're working through at the moment is this bulk sample test program in China. And once that's completed, which should be in approximately 1 month, then we'll be able to move towards Tier-1 offtake agreements, which is obviously a big line in the sand for us and for everybody involved. So the money is extremely useful. As the market would have seen, we announced $500,000 coming in via the DFC, that's the Development Finance Corporation, the US government, who've given us a $5 million grant. So they continue to support us. They continue to input grant funding, which is exceptionally good. And all the money that included with the money that we've raised ourselves prior to this, and obviously in this announcement as well, all going towards the feasibility study, making sure that we continue to work hard, complete jobs and tasks, and obviously get that news flow to the market. I think it's important to note that within this announcement, we've stated that our key suppliers and key relationships have come in for a significant amount of fees that are going to be paid in shares. That's a huge statement of support, and we thank them for that. But it's obviously less cash that we have to raise in order to go and pay for those same fees going forward. So I think it's a combination of everything that we're doing. We've got our own particular style of raising money. That is to ensure that we don't have excessive dilution by going out to the retail market and paying big discounts with lots of free attaching warrants. We'd much rather keep the capital raises small and focused and do them at higher prices to ensure less dilution to our shareholders. So, yeah, it's obviously good news. It's good news for us that we're keeping on raising cash. There's support out there, and we're going to continue to do our job.
Good to hear that £1.4 million of this raised was as fees for shares from the major project partners that you've just discussed there. Now, there was some talk previously of a strategic investor coming in as part of this or a next capital raise. Can you elaborate on whether this party sits?
Yeah, I want to be very clear on this because there's obviously a lot of discussion around the traps. That particular fund is still 100% committed. We've got signed placement letters that will see that cash coming in as soon as they're able to do it. The fund is relocating and has been for a little while, so that is an administrative issue that's their problem, not ours, and obviously they're working through it to get to completion. And that will make a big difference when they come in because they're a strong supportive partner, and obviously the additional cash that they input will go a long way towards completing all of our DFS costs going forward. So that's where they stand. It's kind of out of my hands as to when that admin task of relocation is completed. My best guess would be in the next 1 to 2 months, but I don't want to stand by that with any certainty, but I'm very confident that it will happen. In the meantime, we've got funds to continue to do our job, so we'll do that.
So, Mike, as you get your funding ducks in a row, when and what news flow will we be hearing from the company?
There's a lot of news flow going forward. I guess the primary focus that the market's looking for is the completion of this bulk sample test program that's going on in China. And the end game for that will be offtake agreements. And we've got a couple of Tier-1 offtake partners that we're talking to. So I think obviously watch that space. There's going to be a lot of action going forward. It's going very well, the test program. And I think that we're obviously going to look to get the results that we want from that. Added to that, we're obviously working through a strategy which will include downstream processing, that is taking our concentrate through to a 99.95 spheronized purified graphite content. We're looking to build a facility in country in Uganda to do that, and we think that we found the perfect partner to do that with. They're doing some test work on our product at the moment, but once that's completed, we'll be looking to solidify that relationship into a joint venture as well. And then obviously there's a lot more work that's going to continue. At some stage, we're going to start our drilling program. If we go and do more resource definition drilling, we're going to have results to obviously put through as news flow for that, and other continued work in terms of the DFS and obviously work that we're doing for that. We'll continue to obviously add funds as and when necessary, but realistically, it's all to do with the DFS work that we're doing, and I think there's a lot of news flow that's going to happen. The market's definitely taking notice of us, so there's a lot of good new relationships and I guess opportunities that are coming our way. We've got some very interesting things we're working on, but I don't really want to say too much more about these initiatives until we've actually got them solid. So look forward to a lot of news flow, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to show the progress that we have to date.
Mike Ralston, Chief Executive of Blencowe Resources, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Thank you.